So, what do you guys want to talk about? Hey everybody, welcome back to JT Channel and welcome to my Elimination Chamber reaction. Remember, this isn't a review, it's just a reaction, and we're only in the first like 20 seconds of this video, but I have to say, holy shit. I mean, there's so much to talk about, and we'll get to the obvious one at the end. It's in my thumbnail. It's the only thing anyone's talking about right now. Apparently, we really couldn't see that coming. Just a friendly reminder, like I said a second ago, this is a reaction. I'm not going to walk through every match. I had to write down the elimination and entry order of the chambers. I guess I can at least talk about that. But otherwise, this is just my personal reaction to everything. If you want a professional walkthrough or a right review, there's other people in better positions to do that with better setups and whatever. And I also suggest you don't watch a review if you haven't seen the show. Go watch the show, then come back here and check out my reaction. So first things first, we had the Women's Elimination Chamber, which was Roxanne Perez, Bayley, Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Naomi. The first two were Naomi and Liv Morgan, and I wrote it down here. I wrote down Naomi. She's one of the first two in there. And I wrote down that she was killed by Jade Cargill. So that's the easiest way to put it. So they were in the ring, and they hadn't even closed the big chamber door yet. And Jade Cargill's music hit. Everybody else was in the pods. She stormed to the ring, and the camera work here was brilliant. Liv Morgan was on camera, panicking, freaking out. She's one of the MVPs of the women's division. You felt like, oh my God, Jade's gonna kill Liv. However, if you pay just enough attention in the background, Naomi, I mean, her face was flushed. She was like, And even better is that she was standing right in front of the pod Bianca Belair was in. Jade gets in the ring, and like I said, she kills Naomi. She beats the absolute hell out of her right in front of Bianca Belair. They go to the other side of the chamber. She bashes her head off the chamber, the pods, everything. The referees, the useless wrestling security tries to back her off. Naomi tries to crawl out of the chamber. Jade gets loose, and I mean just slams the big chamber door into Naomi. I've watched a few reactions. They were all like me. Everybody went, even the crowd was like, whoa. And Naomi was eliminated because she couldn't continue. She was stretchered out and everything. This was an awesome start. I love Jade Cargill. I have always loved Jade Cargill since her very first appearance in All Elite Wrestling. I've been following her ever since. She's one of my favorite female wrestlers in the world. Somehow she's even more jacked now. Like, I used to make the Jerry the King Lawler joke. She has muscles in places I ain't even got places. Somehow she got more muscles. I don't even know. But then she left. Bianca Belair was the next one in. And, of course, she went to go try to check on Naomi, but then Liv came in. And as far as the entry order, after Bianca came in, it was Roxanne, and then Bayley, and then Alexa came in last. Again, I'm not here to give you a professional beat by beat, but I do have the elimination order as well. Of course, again, Naomi was killed by Jade Cargill. Then Liv Morgan eliminated Bayley. That was a surprise. If you watched my picks and predictions, I predicted Bayley was going to win the whole thing. I was very, very wrong. And I don't mind being wrong necessarily, but I was just surprised. The next elimination was Roxanne Perez, who was my pick, but I knew she wasn't going to win. I'm just a big Roxanne Perez fan. She got hit with a code breaker and then a twisted bliss to get eliminated, which I thought was cool. She got hit by multiple finishes to get eliminated, so kind of protecting her. Since her and Bayley were eliminated back-to-back, maybe we are still doing that match at WrestleMania. I would love for Roxanne to have a match at WrestleMania, especially against Bayley. The next elimination here, I am lost. What's happening? Oh, Liv Morgan eliminated Alexa Bliss. I believe with a surprise roll-up. Maybe. I actually don't remember. Either way, she eliminated Alexa Bliss, and it was a pretty big surprise. Yeah, no, I'm right. It was the surprise roll-up, and I feel like the commentators didn't sell this enough. Alexa hit Bianca with the Abigail DDT, and then Liv came in and hit the front flip roll-up, and then grabbed Bianca's braid for leverage. I thought that was really cool. I don't think I've ever seen that before, and I just feel like it wasn't sold enough. So we're down to Bianca and Liv Morgan. They both tried. Looking back on it, it's kind of funny because they both tried for about 5 minutes to do their finishing moves. It was like, it wasn't 5 minutes, I'm exaggerating, but it was seriously like KOD, Oblivion, KOD, Oblivion, blah, blah, blah. It was just back and forth and back and forth. Eventually, finally, Bianca caught her in the middle of an Oblivion, KOD. 1, 2, 3. Bianca Belair won the Elimination Chamber. Back to my picks and predictions. I mentioned I wanted to pick Bianca Belair. It's like I picked her for the Royal Rumble. But I felt like the Jade Cargill thing was going to happen, and it did. But she still won, so I'm still very, very happy. Afterwards, she walked to the rampway. Rhea Ripley comes out. Io Sky comes out. Of course, they're doing that match on Raw. I'm pretty sure Rhea's going to win, and we're going to do Rhea and Bianca. Maybe we'll do Rhea, Bianca, and Io. I'm fine with that. After... Io Sky's always been great, but especially after her match with Bayley last year, a lot of people think it was like the match of the night when they wrestled. So Io should have a big match this year as well. She should keep being in prominent positions for the next few years. So go ahead and do that. Do Bianca and Rhea and Io. I think that'd be an awesome match. WWE has figured out triple threat matches finally. It's not just, hey, that one person's been taken out. Let's have a one-on-one match for 5 minutes. It's much better now. So overall, one of the best women's chambers in my opinion. I think there was a lot going on. It was really, really intriguing to watch. Lots of brutal spots with the chambers. Bianca Belair. Bianca and Liv were fighting on top of the pod at one point, and Liv was trying to get away. She was pulling on Bianca's hair, and Bianca got her hair out, and she whipped Liv with her hair. Now, she does that a lot, but this was the worst one I think ever. It reminded me back when she did it to Sasha Banks at WrestleMania, and that Sasha had that huge bruise on her stomach for like a month. I think Liv actually got it worse because it looked like it wrapped around, because she whipped her in the back, but she was legitimately bleeding from her stomach. So that was, I told my wife this, imagine in the back agreeing to that spot and then actually taking it. Overall, I keep saying the word overall, I apologize. I'm all over the place this morning. It was awesome, and I'm happy with the outcome. Neither my pick nor my prediction won. That's okay. Hopefully they'll be in a match together at WrestleMania, maybe even one-on-one. That would be just fantastic. And like I said, Bianca was going to be my prediction, or my pick originally anyway. I love Bianca Belair. I love it when Bianca and Rhea get to have a match. And if you throw Io Sky in, fantastic. Next up was it's so weird, it's the suffering match of the night. And that's the thing with the current WWE product, is they always give us 4 matches, usually at these shows, these B pay-per-views, which you can't call the Elimination Chamber B pay-per-view anymore. But anyway, they're supposed to be B pay-per-views. They give you 4 matches, and there's usually at least 3 of the matches are really high caliber, really important. Everyone's eyes are on them. And then they give us 1 match that has to be the suffer match. It has to be the match that suffers. And it's so weird that it was Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton against Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. I kind of called this one. I don't want to say it was a nothing match. It was Trish Stratus in Toronto, so good for her. But really, it was the match that was the most predictable, was the most obvious. I assumed Candice LeRae was going to take the pin from Tiffany Stratton or Trish. I was wrong. I think Candice accidentally took out Nia, and then Trish tagged in Tiffany, who hit the prettiest moonsault ever and pinned Nia, which just kind of means that that's the nail in the coffin for that feud. And that's okay, because now we get to move on to Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair, which is the big one. You know, Charlotte picked Tiffany for WrestleMania. I think the feud is going to be great. I think the promos are going to be great. It was a good match, you know. This is going to be the least amount of time I spent talking about a match, because there's not much to say. Trish Stratus looks great. She got a great hometown thing. I really hope we do something with her at WrestleMania. A lot of people are saying we should do Nia and Trish. I'd love that. I don't even care if she wins or loses. It was a fine match. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying you should skip it by any stretch of the imagination. You get to see Trish Stratus in the ring. All 4 of these women are extremely talented. And then seeing Tiffany pin Nia again, and now you know in your head, okay, that's done. We're moving on to the Charlotte Flair feud. It's just, it's exciting. This is going to be a damn good WrestleMania. Trust me, it's only going to get better. And yeah, again, Trish and Tiffany won that match. Moving on to what was next, and I wasn't sure what the schedule of this pay-per-view was going to be, what the lineup was going to look like, but in the end, this made the most sense. It was Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in an unsanctioned match. Now, the way I put it, in my predictions and picks is that I wanted casuals to feel uncomfortable. Now, some of you know that I mentioned my wife, that she watches wrestling with me sometimes. My wife is not a casual viewer. She has watched All Elite Wrestling with me. She watched the exploding barbed wire death match. The reason I'm bringing that up is because I don't have a good frame of reference in my house for a casual fan. With that said, I think they accomplished what they needed to do. It was just a hair or two above what a normal WWE hardcore match looks like nowadays. In my opinion, anyway. Let's put it like this, right? Do you remember when, after Terry Funk passed away, WWE had that tag team match? It was the Street Profits against somebody. Excuse me, I totally forget who it was. They were like, this is a special Terry Funk hardcore match. And all they did was, like, fight on the floor and use one table. Like, it was like, what the fuck are you doing? That's not a Terry Funk hardcore match. This is proof that we have moved so far away from the old school days. A WWE unsanctioned match usually meant like one or two kind of crazy spots, like maybe off a ladder, maybe a double table spot, which we did get in this match. But this showed that we are definitely moving away from the WWE style. The first 10 minutes were very much like that. You know, steel chairs and a hockey stick, because why not? Canada, Canadians, hardcore. They fought in the crowd. They used a trash can. There was more chairs. There were some brutal chair spots. I'm not trying to undersell it. Like, I think Kevin Owens did the Fisherman Buster into it. Sami Zayn did the Exploder into it. Like a chair that was set up just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Lots of chair shots to the back. Sami Zayn threw a chair at Kevin Owens' face at one point. Sami got pushed off the top rope and did like a front flip through two tables. Like, it was good shit. Like, don't get me wrong. It was awesome. But of course, the highlight of the match was when Sami Zayn was looking under the ring for a weapon. And he looked at Kevin Owens. He did this look like, should I? Should I? And I was like, what is he going to grab? And he grabbed a chair, and he couldn't get the chair out. And for some reason, my brain couldn't put two and two together. It's like, why is the chair getting caught? Because it was wrapped in barbed wire and it got caught in the apron. Barbed wire chair. It made the audience go, because you don't see it in WWE. And that's, honestly, every time they pulled out a weapon, especially a chair or a table, I was like, please, just barbed wire. Just barbed wire. Just something a little bit different. Sami went on to hit Kevin with it a bunch of times. I think he did the Exploder into it. He did this drop toe hold. When you drop toe hold somebody onto a chair, normally, put your hands up so you can go, oh no. Not only did Kevin not put his hands up, he fell like this. So like the side of his head hit a set up barbed wire chair. Even if the barbed wire is gimmicked, fall head first on a chair. I dare you. It was good stuff. The ending was really good. No matter what Kevin Owens did, it didn't work. Sami just kept kicking out and kept kicking out and kept kicking out. He did one that middle rope spinning Northern Lights the Fisherman Buster. He did that off the second rope through a table. Sami kicked out. Sami eventually hit the haluva kick. It didn't work. He hit him. I'm laughing because he hit a Blue Thunder Bomb through a bunch of chairs and maybe even the barbed wire chair. I don't know. And Zayn and Owens kicked out. If you don't know by now, the Blue Thunder Bomb is a joke. It just never works. Even when you have a bunch of chairs stacked up, you still can't win with the Blue Thunder Bomb. But in the end, Owens was beating him up on the floor. Zayn was mostly out of it. I think Owens hit a pop-up power bomb at one point in the ring, and Zayn was down. He just kind of went, ugh, like he barely kicked out. Owens rolled him to the floor. There was security out there. Jamie Noble was out there. Jason Jordan was out there. They were like, Kevin, stop. And it's like, and Wade Barrett was great on commentary all night. All the commentators were. Michael Cole was great too. Specifically, I mean, Pat McAfee's always wonderful, but the chemistry between Michael and Wade was really good. Michael was also saying, just stop the match, Kevin. But Wade Barrett kept reminding us, that's how it works. It's unsanctioned. This is what Sami and Kevin wanted. So Sami's going to have to get what he gets. And then he just apron bomb after apron bomb after apron bomb. I think there was 3 or 4. One of them messed up. He went to pick Sami up, and Sami kind of like flailed. So he like punched Kevin in the head, and then Kevin hit another one. I don't use the B word because mistakes happen. If you work, if you have a job, there's a 99.9999999 ad infinitum chance that you made a mistake once. So shut the hell up. But He just kept apron bombing him and eventually threw him in the ring, pinned him 1, 2, 3. That's kind of what I saw coming. It wasn't a squash, thank God. But it was good. It was perfect in my opinion. People were like, oh, it should have been more violent. No, it shouldn't have. It's a WWE unsanctioned match. If you wanted more, go watch some of their old matches. Of course, after the match, Kevin Owens is leaving. He comes back. He rips up the padding. He's got Sammy in a powerbomb or pile driver position over concrete. And then all of a sudden, 30, almost 40,000 people hear voices in their head. Randy Orton comes back because, duh. He runs to the ring. He RKOs Kevin Owens. He goes to use a chair. Realizes Kevin Owens is in the perfect place to punt him in the face. So he goes for the punt. Again, great camera work because all you see is Orton and Owens. But then as Orton is running, like 10 people just zoom in the ring and grab Orton while Owens runs out. So Randy Orton is back. I'm not trying to downplay that. He's my favorite wrestler in all of WWE. When he's not around, it's like Seth Rollins, CM Punk. I have all these names I throw out there. But when Orton's around, it's Orton. I've always been a huge Randy Orton fan, except for the time he was a massive dick. But we'll talk about that another day. That was back when I was all kayfabe, and I hated Randy Orton because I was supposed to. But obviously we do Orton and Owens at WrestleMania. I personally wouldn't mind if it had some kind of stipulation. I know Owens was just in a stipulation match, but it's unsanctioned, so it doesn't count or whatever. Overall, it was exactly what we all expected. Normal WWE spots with chairs and tables and hockey sticks. They fought in the crowd, barbed wire chair. Not much. You can't expect too much more. Sorry, I had to step off and deal with something, but overall, really good match. A little bit more than I expected, and I do think they pulled it off. I do think at one point the crowd got a little silent, like they were a little uncomfortable, which is all I asked for. So then we moved on to the men's Elimination Chamber. Short pay-per-views for life. Which was CM Punk, Logan Paul, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, and John Cena. Now, I'm going to talk about the Chamber as a separate entity than the closing segment, because in hindsight, there's a lot of stuff you can look at and go, oh. But I don't want to do that yet. I want to talk about it as if it was just the match itself. Then we'll talk about the closing segment, and then we'll talk about things tying together. So the first two in the Chamber were Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. It was just great watching them wrestle again. The best part was they kept fighting by CM Punk's pod, and when Rollins was in control, he was like, yeah, get him. And then when Drew was in control, he was like, get him, kick his ass. And it was great. Punk just hates both of them. They both hate Punk. The order after those two was Damian Priest was next, then Logan Paul, then John Cena, and then CM Punk came in last. Obviously, I was still rooting for CM Punk. The elimination order I have, let's see. The first person eliminated was Drew McIntyre. When Cena got in there, Drew hit a Claymore after Cena had just beat up everybody. He hit his big spinning slam and AAs all over the place. But he got Claymored. Drew was too hyped. Damian hit him with a roll-up, the crucifix roll-up, and got him eliminated. Then right after that, Drew was obviously pissed off, and he hit Damian with a Claymore. Sorry, I'm being a parent all the time. All right, anyway. Right after Drew got eliminated, since it was a roll-up, Drew was fine. He Claymored Damian Priest and left. Logan Paul had climbed a pod, hits a big frog splash, eliminates Damian Priest. So Priest and Drew are both gone. Then CM Punk eliminates Logan Paul. GTS. I mean, it was just a good moment for everybody. Everybody hates Logan Paul, and that's okay. I figured he wouldn't last too long, but that did mean that it was down to CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and John Cena. At this point, I was baffled. I was still rooting for John Cena. I was rooting for CM Punk. I was predicting John Cena, but I felt like there was a decent argument to be made for Seth Rollins as well. You could do the Seth Cody feud again. But in the end, Seth kept pushing Cena off and yelling at him, saying that Punk is mine. I don't care what you want. I know you've been away for a while, but that bastard is all mine. So eventually they got into it as well. Seth was beating up CM Punk, and then John Cena beat up Seth Rollins. They did a heart attack to Seth Rollins, the old Heart Foundation finisher, which took Seth out for a little bit, which meant we got this moment where Cena and Punk, God, I'm not there this morning. They were in the ring together, just the two of them for the first time in a decade or so. They shook hands, and then they fought and kept fighting. It was good stuff. I'm going to CM Punk and Seth Rollins. CM Punk and John Cena. I'm going to get it right. Jesus, this video has gone completely off the rails after 20 minutes. It was CM Punk and John Cena for a while, which was really nice, but eventually Seth Rollins comes in. He tries to stomp and pedigree and everything. I think Punk gets hit by an AA and kicks out. He gets hit by a stomp and kicks out. Punk is just like, no, this is my time. I need to main event WrestleMania. Get rid of glare here. And eventually Rollins gets caught by Punk, gets hit with the GTS, and then he gets hit by the AA as well, and Punk pins him and eliminates him. So Rollins got hit by two of the biggest, most well-known finishes of all time, and then gets pinned by his arch nemesis. Then Cena and Rollins. You already know I meant Cena and Punk, right? I'm taking a breath here. John Cena and CM Punk start to fight. Eventually, Cena is going for the STF. Well, Cena gets the STF, and I think Punk gets the Anaconda Vice. That may have happened earlier. I apologize. Like I said, I'm not a professional reviewer. I don't walk through every bit of the match. But that was a cool moment, watching them both get their finishes in. That was earlier. He's going for the STF again. Punk pushes him off, and he's like hanging halfway out the ropes. Rollins comes in, hits a stomp on Punk on the floor of the chamber, and then he walks out of the chamber. Cena pulls Punk back, doesn't even think twice, puts him back in the STF. My favorite part of this is while Punk is starting to pass out to the STF, Seth Rollins is screaming, die, die, die. It's completely unhinged and wonderful. Eventually, CM Punk does pass out. John Cena wins the chamber. As far as the chamber match goes, I'm going to have to sit down and go back and watch all of the chambers pretty much ever to find one that I like more than this. It was just so much fun. Yes, Logan Paul was in it. He's a good wrestler. He hit a couple of good buckshot lariats. He did that frog splash off the top of the chamber. He had some good moments. He really did. Again, but I'm not here to walk you through every beat. It's just a really good match. It was the highest caliber chamber maybe ever. I've watched a few like top 10 chamber videos recently because everyone was like, oh, it's chamber time to do my top 10 chambers. And they're talking about ones with people like Vladimir Kozlov and Cesaro and, remember when Carlito and Chris Masters? They're all great wrestlers, but none of them were ever on that level by the time they were in those chambers. So this is one of my favorite chamber matches ever. It was completely unpredictable, especially when you got down to the last three. And then you get down to the last two. And I was a little mad at Seth Rollins, I'm not going to lie. He's one of my favorite wrestlers ever. His theme song is my theme song in every WWE game from the last like 2 or 3, and it will be again in 2K25, I'm sure. But when he stomped Punk, I was like, oh, you bastard. But then it was obvious Cena was going to win. I was convinced. Obviously, I picked Punk as my pick, and then Cena was my prediction. I figured we were going to go that direction. Also, Drew McIntyre was the first one eliminated. I even posted on social media, don't believe everything you read online. That report came out about Drew potentially winning, and everyone was like, $500 on Drew McIntyre. And then he was the first one out. So just watch the show. Don't always read the dirt sheets. Just watch the goddamn show. I was actually convinced that Rollins was going to eliminate Punk or Cena, and whoever he didn't eliminate was going to win. That's made sense to me, that Punk and Cena were going to fight for a while, then maybe he was going to come in and stomp Punk and eliminate him, and then get hit with the AA and be done. I liked how they did this. Again, really unpredictable. Great moments, especially all the stuff with Cena and Punk. Just, that's never going to get old. Then, while Cena is celebrating, he's saying thank you to the fans. Cody Rhodes' music hits. He comes to the ring, face to face. Then, If You Smell hits, and then a song plays, and then Travis Scott comes out. I know who Travis Scott is. I think it was a Travis Scott song. It's stuck in my head right now because WWE has used it for everything for months, it feels like. He comes out clearly smoking weed. Apparently nobody cares anymore. Then The Rock's music hit. So here's The Rock, here's Cody Rhodes, here's John Cena, Travis Scott. I don't know why Travis Scott is there. I don't mean to be mean to him. He's a very, very famous artist. I think he's a rapper. I think I even know 2 or 3 of his songs. But to me, it didn't. It just felt weird. I thought he was going to perform or something. But anyway, The Rock, The Rock standing there. In the background is Cena and Travis Scott, right? They're just hanging out while The Rock and Cody Rhodes do their thing. The Rock is like, I want your mind, I want your body, I want your soul, I want your blood, your sweat, your tears, your piss, your shit. He didn't say all that. I'm exaggerating, but he's just going on and on and on about how he wants everything of Cody Rhodes. He's like, I'll give you everything if you give me everything. And then Cody says, I have to get this exactly right. Because he says, I can't give you my soul because I've already given it away to the ring, to the fans. I have no soul to give. And it's definitely not going to you. And then he says, his exact words are, hey, Rock, go fuck yourself. Live in color. No edits, no bleeps, no nothing. The crowd goes crazy. John Cena's in the background, hopping up and down like a child on Christmas morning. There's a good 2 minutes of just silence. The Rock is staring at Cody. Cody's staring at The Rock. And then eventually, I genuinely cannot believe I'm about to say what I'm about to say. But Cody eventually turns to John Cena, shakes his hand, gives him a hug. He's hugging John Cena. And then Cena, the camera cuts to Cena's face. He's like, and then he goes. He just makes, his smile goes away. His energy goes away. He turns into just a blank glare almost. The Rock does the throat slit thing. Although, again, nobody's talking about. The throat slit thing is like the one hand or the thumb or maybe even the 2 fingers, whatever. But The Rock goes from his... I don't know why this is so funny to me. He goes from this side of his neck, or the other side, whichever, and he comes up, goes all the way up to his cheek, and then pops out 2 fingers. I don't get it. And then it cut away. I guess he made a motion that I didn't see. But then Cena's face gets even worse. Then he backs up, smiles at Cody Rhodes, and kicks him in the balls. Over 20 years, people have been begging for John Cena to turn heel, and we finally got it. At the 2025 Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, the last segment of the night, Toronto, Canada, John Cena's last year in wrestling, he finally turns. He grabs Cody Rhodes' cold Rolex watch, punches him in the head with it, hits him in the head with the title a bunch of times, just keeps hitting him, beating him up. The Rock holds him down. Travis Scott gets a shot in, then The Rock whips him with his weight belt. Cena stands on his head, then he walks over and holds the title up. The crowd is going nuts. I went nuts. My wife went nuts. If my child wasn't asleep on me, I would have leapt off the couch and ran around in circles like a crazy maniac. It was insane. People are comparing it to Hulk Hogan turning heel in 1996, and I don't disagree. This is easily that big. It's Hulk Hogan turning heel. It's the Horsemen turning on Dusty Rhodes. It's Evolution turning on Randy Orton. It's Seth Rollins turning on The Shield. I could go on. The Judgment Day turning on Edge maybe wasn't as big, but still, it's all of those moments. When it happens, you stay in it. I'm still there. That's why I'm so hyper. That's why I kept messing up during the men's chamber. I'm all the way off screen with my energy still. And I'm tired. Don't get me wrong. Stayed up and woke up early and all that. But it was just amazing. Honestly, amazing. Like, I wasn't upset afterwards. I'm excited. I'm intrigued. I'm confused. My eyeballs are glued to the screen for the next few weeks because John Cena apparently is out for the next couple of weeks to film something. So we're not even going to get an answer from John Cena for like 3 or 4 weeks. It's so amazing. And then, of course, the last shot of the night is John Cena, The Rock, and Travis Scott walking away together as a unit. And then Cody Rhodes in the ring. Michael Cole is standing over Cody Rhodes because Michael Cole was great on commentary. Michael Cole lost his mind. He's like, what are you doing? Why do you need to do this? You don't need to sell out. You're the best. What the fuck? The best bit when it comes to the commentary is during the Kevin Owens Sami Zayn match. Michael Cole kept saying, oh, this sick so-and-so, or knock this crap off. And I'm like, just let the commentators swear sometimes. This is on pay-per-view. Then he said, John Cena is one of the greatest of all time, and now he has to sink down to this shit. And I was just like, yes. Michael Cole saying shit. Moment of the year. That whole segment, forget John Cena turning heel. Forget Travis Scott somehow being a part of this. Forget Cody saying, go fuck yourself. Forget all of that. Michael Cole got to say shit. I'm happy. Now, this is where I want to talk about the connection to the Chamber, because Cena, actually, go back to the Rumble. He said, I need to win my 17th title. That's why I'm putting myself in the Chamber, because it's best for business that I win my 17th title and I break that Ric Flair record. You can go all the way back to there. Maybe they've been planning since then. And then, of course, Cena, normally, good guy Cena, when Rollins attacked Punk, would have run out there and been like, what are you doing? I don't want to win this way. Instead, he went right into the STF. So, it's awesome. I love it. I love every second of it. Now, I do want to correct some of the fans online, and I shouldn't do that because the IWC is full of absolute morons. But everyone's like, oh, he finally turned heel. John Cena was a heel when he debuted. Okay? People saying we went 25 years for this. No, you haven't. He debuted in 2002. By 2004, he was a good guy, and I want to say by 2006, 2007, well, definitely by 2008, people were getting sick of it. So it's been, I'd say people have been wanting this since about then, so almost 20 years. I don't mean to be the but actually guy. I actually hate that, but people are like, oh, it finally happened. 25 years we've been waiting for this. He's been a bad guy before, but it has been, honestly, about 20 years since about 2005 when he got that Raw thing. I don't know if y'all remember that, but when he got drafted to Raw, Chris Jericho had the highlight reel. It was like, our very first pick in the draft lottery, come on down. And it was John Cena, who was WWE champion at the time. So, you know, at that moment, Raw had both world champions. But it's been about since then that people have been like, man, imagine if John Cena was a bad guy. So this really is a heel turn 20 years in the making. I cannot wait for John Cena's first promo. If you missed it at the press conference, John Cena came out, he sat down, he pulled the mic out, picked it up, dropped it, and left. He literally just did a mic drop and walked off. And of course, The Rock told us about him. He's been gone for at least 2 weeks. I don't know if we're going to see The Rock on Monday. You're probably wondering, why does he keep mentioning Travis Scott? There's a rumor going around that he may be a permanent part of this. I don't know if it's true or not. Sure, why not? I mean, seriously. There are non-wrestling fans and wrestling fans that are going to know who that is, Travis Scott. I mean, like Pat McAfee said, Dwayne Johnson's probably the most famous man in the world. But even if you're not interested in the Dwayne Johnson stuff, you know who Travis Scott is, and now John Cena's a bad guy. My brother and I were talking about this. I stuttered all over the place. I'm going to be interested to see what angle they go with. Like, who is this John Cena? Like, we remember the Dr. Thuganomics kind of heel version of John Cena, but who is this John Cena? Who is this heel John Cena? I'm hoping, and I think my brother is too, that it's going to be a Hollywood Cena. Just like we have Hollywood Final Boss Rock with the really expensive clothes and the I'm better than everybody because I'm famous. I'm hoping that's what John Cena is like. I'm hoping this is I'm the GOAT. Michael Cole calls me the GOAT. He's right. I'm better than literally everybody, so I deserve this. I didn't sell my soul. I'm on the same level as The Rock. We're above everybody. You know, that's what I want to hear. Because I want to hear him explain why he's teaming with The Rock, why he turned on everybody. It's going to be interesting. When Cena comes back in a few weeks to address everybody, I'm going to be curious what song he's going to have. Is he going to have No Time? My Time Is Now? Is he going to have Word Life again? Is he going to have a whole new song like that Travis Scott song that will not get out of my head? You know, I'm curious. You know, all these questions are a good thing. And now we know that the main event. Track. Seems like my video is getting a little funky. It's going to be a heel John Cena taking on the biggest babyface maybe of all time in Cody Rhodes. I know that's a fairly controversial statement, but in this moment, with the final boss, with the heel turn, with all the other stuff being pushed to the side, Cody probably is the biggest babyface right now. This is definitely one of the best Elimination Chamber pay-per-views ever, PLEs, whatever you want to call it. I know that the Trish and Tiffany, Nia, Candice match kind of got swept under the rug. I don't think you should skip it. If you haven't watched the Elimination Chamber, first of all, why the hell did you watch this video and then go watch the pay-per-view? But if you're going to go back and rewatch it, which I sure will eventually, watch the whole show. Don't skip through that match. I'll even admit that I got a little distracted during that match. I also have severe ADHD, so that could be part of it. But nonetheless, I do think that match is just as important as all the rest of the card. It was Trish Stratus's return to Toronto. Could be her last match in Toronto. You never know. You know, she does all these big returns, but you never know when her last one's going to be. Match of the night was Owens and Zayn. Still, yes, the chambers were brilliant, especially the men's chamber, but the Owens and Zayn match just lived up to expectations, in my opinion. Excuse me, if I was told, oh, you can only watch one match from that show and that's it, it'd be the Owens Zayn match, because the chamber and the final segment are two different entities. So, you know, hold a gun to my head, I would rather watch Owens and Zayn over again, but I've already rewatched the John Cena heel turn about 100 times. Like, that's almost not an exaggeration. I've rewatched it on social media. I've rewatched it on YouTube Shorts. I rewatched the entire segment on YouTube. I've watched other reaction videos to it. So I can't get enough of it. But thank you everybody so much for watching. I know this is a long-winded video. I know that a lot of other reviewers keep it 20, 30 minutes. But I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about the Pape. What you think of Cena's heel turn, the chamber matches, the tag match, Owens and Zayn, all that stuff. And be on the lookout, because there is a chance that I'm going to be watching Roadblock in about a week. A little over a week. If you don't know what that is, it's technically an NXT show, but it's an NXT TNA crossover show. There's some really big matches on there. That might be the next wrestling thing I do. And then, of course, you all know I'm going to do WrestleMania picks and predictions, WrestleMania reviews. I did it last year. Looking forward to it. So that's it for now. Until next time, this is JT Channel. I am JT, and I will see you on the next one.